Something's not right.
Okay, so what you just saw was the last run at Tsukuba 1000, and I had a complete loss of power, and it literally felt like I had a vacuum boost leak. When I was driving around the track after that, the turbo was taking longer to spool, and it definitely felt like the link ECU was compensating for something. Plugged my laptop in, and I could tell straight away that there was a vacuum leak somewhere. Now, I'm pretty much 80% sure I know where the vacuum leak is, and that's my top intake manifold gasket. These on the Series 2 RB25 are renowned for cracking and splitting and then getting blown out once you're above 12 PSI. And that's because they used a thick rubber version in the Series 2 motor, but they're just after a couple heat cycles, gets old and brittle and breaks and pushes out under high boost. So if ever you're doing a turbo upgrade on your factory RB, make sure you replace this top intake manifold gasket if you're not going to a forward-facing plenum. So anyways, we're going to replace that today, and then we're going to go to the hardware store and build like a little boost leak tester with my little air compressor and some PVC pipe fittings and stuff, so we can check all our couplers and intercooler. And then one thing I wanted to quickly talk about actually was a lot of people have been asking me, why aren't you going to the Otaku Garage forward-facing intake manifold? And first of all, that is the plan. That is what's going to be happening. In fact, when I get back from Australia, I'm going to bring a whole kit back with me to put on this car, but we're not putting it on straight away. And that's because I want to save some money with dyno tunes. I don't want to have to keep going back to the dyno and just keep doing like, you know, multiple tunes for all these little incremental upgrades. I'd rather go from here straight to here. So we're going to be doing, at the same time when we do put the intake manifold on, we're going to be doing a nice top mount turbo manifold with a new rear housing for better response, maybe even a new turbo that Mumba wants me to test out. And then new exhaust, did I say head gasket and studs, and then the Otaku Garage intake manifold, better, you know, intercooler piping and stuff like that. Then we're going to go to the dyno with that, retune the car, and we'll be good. Now a lot of people kind of like, oh, can't you just bolt the Otaku Garage intake manifold on? No, you can't. You can't use side feed injectors on that, so that means I have to sell these 740cc injectors that I already have and get top feed 14mm ones, because that's the new industry standard for fuel injectors in the aftermarket world. As well as the moment you change to a forward-facing intake manifold, the way there's a lot more air that's accessible to getting into your engine, which means that most likely if you don't get a tune, you're going to be running lean and getting detonation issues, and you're going to blow up your engine. So whenever you put a forward-facing intake manifold on, do not drive your car, tow it to the dyno, get it dyno tuned first. So anyways, enough of that. We're going to pull down this whole top section of the intake manifold, replace that gasket, do a few other little things on the car today, hopefully, if we got time, because that's a huge job. Enough talking, let's get into it. Okay guys, I'm taking a break right now. We got it off. It was not fun. I even had to get May out here. She was supposed to go hang out with some friends today, but I needed her help really bad to get the rest of this off. These bolts on the inside under here, these first three are relatively easy. It's these two that cause the most trouble. Like, I had to take the idle air control valve off and all of that just to get to that. I tried using like huge amounts of extensions and my rattle gun to go through the runners all the way down the bottom, but I don't know, I guess with my rattle gun only being like 1/4 inch or whatever, it didn't have enough power to even turn the bolts with all those extensions on there, which makes sense. Like, adding extensions and wobble joints takes all the torque out of the rattle gun. So that was fun. I hope I never have to do this again, but I know I will have to when I change to an Otaku Garage intake manifold, but it's all part of the fun, I guess. For now, what I'm going to do is take a quick lunch break. My hands and knuckles are all swollen, scratched up. My wrist has been bleeding and bruised, and like even this hand's the same. It hasn't been a fun experience, but I hope you guys have been able to see like what I did to try and make your life easier if ever you have to do this. The old gasket was relatively still in one piece. It's hard to see but if you bend it and tweak it, you can see all these little splits and stuff in there. So it was leaking boost, but definitely not as much as I thought it was. So I am going to have to build that boost tester and test the whole system and work out what's going on. But anyways, I'm going to go inside and eat lunch. It's starting to rain a bit too, so I might kind of cover everything up as well, and hopefully we'll get back to this and finish it off. Okay, so I'm finished. Everything is back together. It's taken me probably like 6 hours total. It's definitely been a bit of a bitch of a job. But you would have seen me doing a few things that had nothing to do with like that, replacing that gasket. I completely removed like the little PCV valve that normally goes from the top of the covers here, the rocker covers, into the intake manifold. That's because I have a catch can now, so I'd rather all the excess oil and stuff that does blow out from there and ventilate goes to the catch can, not back into the intake manifold. For now, I just got a piece of vac line, bent it over itself and zip tied the crap out of it. I am going to up garage actually later tonight to meet up with Taguchi-san, so I'll get a bung for that there at the same time. But otherwise, I also put a whole bunch of new bolts and locking washers on the downpipe of my turbo, and that's just because I reused the previous lock ones after I had already used them on the factory elbow, so they were just kind of loosening up heaps, so I just got a whole bunch of new ones and put those on so I won't have any problems there. Anyways, let's start up the car, make sure everything's idling okay, and then seems to be alright. Nice. Seems to be okay. Takes a little bit for it to catch back up, so I don't know. What I'm gonna have to do is definitely make a little boost tester, some PVC pipe and a bike valve or something, a tire valve, and just see if I can find any other boost leaks. It could also be that this is a temporary hose that I used for my map sensor that's on the ECU, this little thing here. If that's crushed somewhere in there getting to the ECU where the map sensor is, that could cause it to. But yeah, I'll figure it out. We're gonna go for a test drive now, see how it all is. I've run out of time for today for doing any more work, so I'll plug the laptop in when I drive it and just make sure everything seems okay. Okay, so I'm extremely wrecked, but I'm gonna try my best to explain this. I just got back from like a test drive, went to Up Garage, and just tried to see if I could find one of those like silicon bungs, but they didn't have the right size. They only had ones that were too big, so I'll grab one off Amazon. But anyways, car's fine in boost now. It's not laggy or anything, so that fixed the vacuum leak, like the big boost leak. But it seems like there still might be a little vacuum leak somewhere. When I come off throttle, like I put my foot on the clutch and we're rolling to a stop, the RPMs go all the way down to like 200, 300 RPM and nearly stall the car before it comes back up to the normal idle RPMs of like 850, 950. So there's something going on there. It could just be that one of the vac hoses is split or cracked or not on somewhere on the manifold, because it has to be after the throttle body. Because I'm running the Link ECU, I don't have a mass airflow sensor anymore. Or that cheap crappy temporary hose that I've supposed to have replaced for a while now. I actually have the new hose on the ground there that I need to put in, is crushed somewhere, and then the map sensor is not getting true readings when it's in those negative vacuum levels. So I don't know, I need to kind of work on that tomorrow probably. I'll have some time then. It's too dark outside and the mosquitoes and the rain, it's not worth it. So anyways, I'm glad that in boost now, the car's running great, it's good. I think like I was just thinking about like the title of this video, and I'm probably, you know, gonna make it a little bit clickbaity and kind of like, oh no, the RV is no longer reliable. But that's not the case at all, really. Like, it's literally just all these little things that I could have prevented if, you know, I had spent the money and had the time available when I first did everything to, like, you know, replace those gaskets, put higher quality hose and stuff like that on there. As you know, when I was trying, like, I was in a rush to get this car to the dyno, then go to Matsuri, and then also be able to make it out to Mikawa Motorland for Dori Dore event. Like, there was a lot of things happening, and when that turbo blew, it wasn't planned. So I literally just rushed as hard as I could. And in all honesty, for how quickly I threw that together and how I was working through the night, like in my driveway to get that all together for the dyno in time, it's a miracle that nothing's gone wrong, really. Like, it's crazy. Anyways, I'm ranting on now, but thanks heaps for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you are a subscriber, make sure you turn the notifications on. I know a bunch of you have been messaging me saying that you're not getting notifications when new videos come out, and that's really frustrating. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about the YouTube platform, but there's definitely something there that they need to look at. So yeah, make sure you subscribe twice, as they say, by hitting the notifications bell. And then yeah, if you want to send me anything like slap stickers or products that you want me to review or anything like that, my PO box is down in the description as well. And I'll catch you in the next video, guys. I really don't know what else to say. I'm so wrecked. じゃあまたね。